Hello, everybody. This is Pam, and I'm back, as I said I would be, to share my life with you. I first just want to thank everybody for all of the encouragement, all of the calls I got, the texts I received, the comments that were left. They were, y'all don't even know, they were such a blessing to me. I've been crying literally all day. I got up, I guess, about 8:30 this morning. From 8 until just before I'm doing this video, I have literally been in tears, just emotional. Um, I realize how heavy this is. And I was saying to the Lord, I can't do this unless He's with me. And He lets me know He's with me in this. But it's heavy, y'all. It's heavy. And heavy, not because I don't want to share it, but heavy in the sense that you all are God's people. And I don't want to uh, come at you any kind of way or say anything that is not going to be uplifting to the Lord. And so that's where I'm coming from when I'm talking about heavy. Um, I don't take this lightly at all. I really don't. And those that are in my inner circle, they understand and they know that I'm not taking this lightly. This is not an easy thing, and I don't want to take the things of God lightly. And you are God. That's why you belong to the Lord, and that's why He calls you holy. So with that, again, thank you for all of it, um, and please continue to pray for me. I want to begin at my beginning, and I want to talk about some molestations that took place in my life. I believe I was 4 or 5, and this very first situation that I can remember was with a cousin, a boy cousin. And I was taken out on the canal banks in Boynton. Everybody from Boynton know about the canal banks. And this is when we had all the trees out there. There's no trees out there now, but it was always all these big pine trees that covered the bank of the canal banks there. And I was taken out on the canal bank this day, and my cousin had me to pull down my panties. So I did. Told me to lay down on the ground, and I did that. And he proceeded to take his pants down and take his penis out. He started to try to insert his penis inside me, but it wouldn't go. So he was just really just kind of bruising me, trying to put it in. He was just bruising me. And my mother began to call for me. And we could hear her name. We could hear her calling me my name in the distance. And he jumped up and he ran. Well, my mom was headed in the direction that we were. So when she saw me, I'm pulling up my clothes. And my mom started yelling out to my cousin, "I know it's you. I know it's you. What are you doing?" And she kind of snatched me up, and I got fussed out. Now, I want to say this. I'm 4 or 5 years old. I really don't understand what's going on. No 5-year-old or 4-year-old really does. Um, we in the we in the black community have this word that we call our girls, which is fast. And my mom said that to me. Now, at that age, I don't know what fast is, but hearing those words, I knew that they were derogatory. I knew they weren't something that was good. My mom took me back to my great grandmother's house, Miss Ida. Everybody in Boynton know Miss Ida. She was a candy lady on 10th. So I lived between her and my mom. I would live with my mom at times, and I would live with my grandmother at times. And so I was taken back to her house that after this incident happened, and I could hear my mom telling my grandmother what had happened, and saying, "This fast girl, da 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 da." And I just, again just remember being a little kid and just thinking, why am I being blamed? I just knew it wasn't a good thing, not understanding everything about, but just knew it wasn't good. So that night, my grandmother put me in the bathtub. She bathed me, and when it was time for bed, I was hurting down there, and so I was telling my grandmother, that it hurt, and so she was asking me, "Well, what hurts?" And I was pointing, and she said, "Well, what does it hurt at?" And I was pointing back towards the back of my behind. which is my vagina. And my grandmother kind of turned me around and she just kind of looked at it, and she took some Vaseline, I think it was, and kind of rubbed it on there. But listen to these words, you all. My grandmother said to me, "This is why you don't mess around, because this is what happens." And again, the 5-year-old is being blamed. The cousin was a little older than me. Um, I don't know what activity he had seen or what activity he had been a part of that he decided that he was going to do this to me. I don't know, but it stayed with me. It stayed with me. Um, the second incident that I remember was a neighbor, and this neighbor was a man. He was married, and he was my grandmother's age. Okay, so I told y'all my grandmother was a candy lady, so I didn't need candy. But any kid like candy. I don't care who giving it out. You know, you go into the store, you buy more candy. You know, I like candy. I was a kid. So he told me that he had candy in his pocket. Now, this neighbor was not just any person. This was a trusted person. He was personal friends with my grandmother. We had been to their house. They had been to our house. I had been to their house many times, and I never had an incident with them. But this particular day, he asked me if I wanted some candy. And I told him, yeah, sure, I want some candy. So he said, "I got candy in my pocket. Just reach in my pocket and get the candy out." So I reached in his pocket, and I didn't feel any wrapper or anything. So he said, "Just go deeper, go deeper, go deeper. You'll get it. You'll get it. You ain't got there yet." So I kept digging my hand into his pocket, and finally my hand touched something. Now I don't know what it is, but he said, "Grab it. Yeah, that right there. Grab it, grab it." So I grabbed. He said, "Pull it, pull it, pull it out, pull it out." So I went to pull it, and he said, "Oh, you ain't got it. Come on, but pull it again." And so I did that a couple of times before it just wasn't gonna come out, and so I just said, "Well, I can't get it out." And kind of, I don't know, went on my way. It was probably about I don't know, a week, 2 weeks later, I overheard my grandmother and his wife talking on the front porch. And what they were saying was is that, you know, some of these dirty old men, you know, have children putting their hands in their pockets saying that they have candy, but they don't have candy. They're really touching, you know, their penis. Um, I think at that time I was probably, I want to say 8 or 9. And so I kind of understood what a penis was by now, you know, and I knew that that was disgusting and it wasn't right. So that was the second time that I was violated, my innocence, you know, kind of taken. And looking back now, I just see that the enemy was setting me up. He was setting me up um, to be someone that was going to be continuously hurt. And he was setting me up in my mind to think of men a certain way. Uh, God, y'all. The third incident. This was with another trusted member of the family. Um, I think I'm gonna back off of that one for the time being. Um, Only because it is a little touchy. Not that I haven't healed from it, I have. I just had not figured out how I'm gonna say this, what term I'm gonna put it in. Because one thing I don't want to do is name names. And my reason for that is that was a long time ago. And like me, I've changed. God has saved me. I'm not the same person I used to be. That's why this channel is named I Am Not Her Anymore, because that's what God said to me. He told me, "You're not her anymore." So those people may not be in the same position they were in at that time. And I don't want to slander who they are now, forgetting those things in the past, but pressing on toward the higher calling in Christ Jesus. I don't want to bring a railing accusation. They did what they did. Don't get me wrong. They did what they did. And I've forgiven them. But I don't want to put their name out and muddy it so that other people look on them in a wrong way. So I think you all understand what I'm saying about that. But when I went through these situations, what began to happen to my mind was I was realizing that little girls got touched. They got hurt in the wrong way. And for whatever reason, the enemy was setting me up, of course, to kill, steal, and destroy. But what it did is it made me not want to be a little girl. That's what it did. When nobody was looking, I would walk around the house and act like a boy. That's what I would do when nobody was looking. I would take my hair down and just have my hair out. And I would take my shirt off and walk around with no shirt on. I just have my pants on. And I would, do the little, boppity move, like boys, or what we think boys walk like. And I would pretend to be a boy. Because to me, girls got molested. Girls got men touching them. Girls had fingers inserted inside them. And I didn't want that. So I thought little boys didn't. So I figured that was safer. Of course, now I know better. I know that little boys are molested just as much as little girls. But being a child at that time, I didn't understand that. It was so bad that when my grandmother would take me to the store, I didn't want dresses. I wanted pants. And I remember this one incident that led me to want pants. I'm in the kindergarten. That day, my grandmother had dressed me in this beautiful green dress. I'll never forget this dress. I was in class and we were all having a good time, and now it was time for recess. It had rained that day, so the playground was all muddy. Y'all know Poinciana Elementary, right? So I'm going out onto the playground, and this little boy pulled my dress up. So when he pulled my dress up, he saw my panties, okay? Now, I ran after him. With all my might. I tried to catch him because I wanted it. I wanted to punch him. And I couldn't catch him. What happened is I fell. And when I fell in the mud. And I muddied up my dress. So back then, I don't know if they still do this now, but back then they would keep, some extra clothes at the school, so when kids, made a mess or whatever, peed their pants or whatever, they had something else they could put on. So they put me in this raggedy dress. I don't know what this thing was. They put me in because my dress was all muddy. So now I'm embarrassed because this boy saw my panties. I'm hurt because I'm in this dress that this is not my clothes. So I'm feeling ashamed. And from that day, you all, till I believe I was 18, I wore pants under any dress I had on. When my grandmother would make me have to wear a dress, she would make me do it, I would put on pants. When my mom would make me put on a dress, I would always wear pants under my dress because I was always afraid that somebody was going to pull my dress up and see my panties. And I didn't want that to happen to me. So I made sure that if that happened, that all they were going to see was pants. They were not going to see my panties until I was 18, you all. That was the first time that I started wearing dresses without pants under it because of that situation. So y'all see the way the enemy begins to set a stronghold up in your mind, because that's what was happening to me. He wanted me to hate men, and he wanted me to be a man, because later on in my life, I began to have dreams about sleeping with women. That's the truth. Now, I thank God that I never had an attraction for women, and I never been with a woman ever. But I do understand why some people do go that way. Some people, it happens to because they've been molested, because they've been raped. And the enemy comes in and he gives you such a shame. You're so ashamed and you feel so guilty, even though it's not your fault. The enemy makes it your fault. He makes you feel so guilty that this has happened to you. You have a worthlessness that comes on you. I felt worthless. I was ashamed. I was humiliated. And I actually, at some point, was very depressed and did not realize I was depressed. Now, anybody that just saw me regularly didn't know this. You wouldn't know this because I always kept a smile on my face. But inside, I had a lot of issues going on. Um, it always been me, my sister, and my mom. It was us three always. And just us girls. I don't know, it was just good that way. I'm only pausing because I'm just thinking about that that situation with it just being my mom, me, and my sister. And it wasn't always easy on my mom. It wasn't always the easiest thing, but me and my sister had a great life. It was fun. um, I didn't want to make this video long, and I'm looking at it, and it's already 16 minutes. So I think for now, I'm just going to stop, and I'll come back tomorrow with the other part of this. Again, I hope that those of you who watch this will just begin to trust God with the process of your healing, because that's what I had to do. The things that I'm discussing, they happened a long time ago, and they crippled me for a very long time. And I finally got to the place that I was ready, and I cried out to the Lord and I asked him to heal me, and he did. And so I'm healed. Those things no longer haunt me. They don't hurt me anymore. To talk about them, it doesn't make me cry anymore. I don't shiver and shake at the thought of it any longer. And that's what I want for you all, is to be healed in that way, so that you can go on and live the life that God has for you. But I'll be back tomorrow, and I'll begin to tell you the rest of it, okay? All right. I love you all. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.